All right. Roxbury Town Hall, Roxbury, Connecticut. Thursday, November 9th, 2003, 7 p.m. Time to open our public hearing. First item of business tonight. Tonight, our regular members present are Kim Tester, Elaine Philly is not here. Andy Villar is here. Jim Conway is not here. And myself, Bill Horrigan. Alternates tonight here are Cheryl Rosen, Ellen Johnson, and Chris Haggerty. So Jim is not here and Elaine is not here, so we'll see two alternates. I don't know
that last week,
the
last one, so.
All right, so we need two alternates, Ellen and Cheryl.
Sounds good.
Just an aside here, I want to make note that this is the, as far as Jim Conway's attendance record goes, this is the second meeting he's missed in 28 years. So, I don't know, should we reprimand him?
You get the whip up.
Yeah. So, with Cheryl and Ellen being seated, we'll start our public hearing. And our members are seated, and we'll start with the.
I have to ask a question. Do you have to, I think you have to seat someone specific for someone specific. Is that right, Julie?
Oh, we do? Okay, so we'll see.
If you'd like to, you can. I don't.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Verbatim.
Okay.
So we have two seated alternates,
Good.
Alan and Cheryl. The legal notice.
Would you like me to read it?
Yes.
Okay.
Great.
This was published in Voices on October 25th and November 2nd. It says the Roxbury Zoning Commission will hold a hybrid public hearing on Thursday, November 9th, 2023 at 7:00 p.m. in the Roxbury Town Hall to solicit public comment on an application for a special permit from Marco Padilla to operate a fusion cuisine restaurant at 162 Baker Road, Roxbury, Connecticut. This application is filed in accordance with sections 4.7.8 of the Roxbury zoning regulations. At this hearing, interested persons may be present and heard, and written communications will be accepted. This application is on file at the Roxbury Land Use Office and the office of the town clerk and can be reviewed during normal business hours. And the hearing can also be accessed via Zoom or phone, and then the link is listed. Bill Horrigan, Chairman, October 19th, 2020.
Julie, do we have the green postal?
Yes, the members were notified and they were certified mailings on October 25th.
Right.
All three of them were notified.
All right, and the application itself is correct and.
Yes, we found the application complete last month.
Okay. So we're gonna hear the special permit application by Marco Padilla to operate a Roxbury Kitchen, a fusion cuisine restaurant at 162 Baker Road. And Marco?
Yes.
Yes. With this, Jimmy, you have Marco. You can want to sit right there.
Thanks.
Right. Very important too, very important scene. So just tell us what you have in store. And like I said before, welcome to Roxbury.
Thank you so much.
So
It's like a pleasure to be here, you know, and that I make it something different, future cuisine.
I've already eaten there. I go out a lot. Yeah, all right. So, where'd you come from and what was your restaurant experience before this?
Before this, I working for like 16 years with IHA Corporation, and I opened a different restaurant in 2011, called Nelly Restaurant. But the thing is, before COVID started, also we closed, and we stayed like, you know, working for somebody else. I said, I see the opportunity to be here in Roxbury too. That's why I open something different. Yeah.
When did you set foot on the property? When did you show up? When were you first there?
I know the person he opened before is the owner before they're in the place, yeah.
Yeah.
So I try help him, with the menu, working with him for a couple of weeks. And after I left, maybe like 3 years ago, maybe when he opened.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
so I'm gonna open you up to any questions that the board has. So does anyone have any questions for Marshall?
I can't see from there, but is there no public there?
Say again, Kim?
Or is there anybody from the public there? I can't see.
Camera's not working, is it?
Kathy Macy's here.
Our camera?
And, yep, Marco's wife is here.
Okay.
You can't see any of us, Kim? Can you see any of us?
Yeah, no, I can now because she took the agenda down. So, no, I just, before before the commission says something that's usually the public, but I wasn't sure if there was any public.
One question.
It's right here, Kathy.
Just one.
You have any comment?
No, I'm here to watch and listen.
Oh.
It's okay, you can do that. Well, we don't have any questions for you, Marco. We should have a menu though.
One question, are you gonna get a liquor license in there at some point?
No, not really, because we are Christians, so we try making something different, like, I try working different way with the customer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had that same question too, so thank you for asking.
Yeah. But can we bring our own bottle?
Yes, yes. Yes.
No, I'll do that.
Can you do what?
I'll bring my own bottle.
The grandfather-
BYOB.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're going 2 doors down.
Then if you don't, go 2 doors down to our great liquor store.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be serving breakfast, lunch and dinner?
Yes.
Wow.
Every day you got a day off, it's gonna be closed.
Every day.
on
On
Monday. All right. So,
I had a question, because if, you put in that you're going to be open till 8 p.m. If you decide you're going to be open later, you'll have to come back and do this all again because it's a change of use. So I just want to make sure that you have it in for late enough so you only have to do this once. Is that correct, John? Is that?
John, is that correct? Kim's assumption? That if he decides to stay open an hour later, he has to come in? for another-
Yeah, he would have to amend his special permit, definitely.
So I mean,
How about if he says he's gonna stay open until 10 and he closes at 8?
That's fine. I mean, shoot for the moon, but you don't have to go there.
right,
So,
I just think it would be easier for you
Yeah.
to put it in for later so that you don't have to come back and do this process again. You don't have to stay open till 9 or 10. It's just that you have approval to, in case it works out that you want to, like if you have an event, or there's something else that you want to experiment with down the road, that you wouldn't be able to do it past 8 o'clock unless you came through and did all this again. So I would recommend that you put it in for later.
Change like
Speak now, yeah.
so just in case, because we think like close by 8, but like you got a good point, because sometimes the customer is still a little longer, 8:30.
Yeah.
8's pretty early.
Yeah, there are people come in at 7:30, they may want to be there till 9. Yeah.
Yes, they may want to say until no later than 10 or until 10.
10 o'clock. Would that be-
Depends when-
Change that, Julie, right here.
Absolutely, you're the commission.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
10, they can be great.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's make it even more. Okay.
Yeah. The prior owner wanted to have seating, the seats outside,
It's in his application.
His application, yeah.
Yes. It's on the statement of use.
Not the outside oven.
No, they have, no, that never happened.
But we'll utilize the same capacity.
That's inside.
So-
No, I guess maximum inside and out.
All right, so
Yeah,
you
you
know,
can't put 36.
That's how you kind of approves it.
okay.
Yeah,
Excuse me, I see this page, it says the hours, at 9 a.m. Well, likewise, you might want to serve breakfast early or something. If
Well, you're certainly,
front end is,
9 o'clock is pretty late, is that also, is it not? I mean, if I go out to breakfast,
yeah.
you change your mind, say 7 o'clock till 10 o'clock in the night.
But I still, my point, so we can make a change, Julia, in the future I can.
But you would actually have to pay to come back to amend the special permit. So that's to do the hours now. Make them as broad as you can.
it doesn't cost anything and.
And you don't have to operate like in that, like if you decide you wanna come in at 8, you can come in at 8.
So, yeah, because it's my plan, you know, in the future, maybe for the next summer, so open a little more early, you know.
I think 7 to 10 probably
7 to
would
10.
cover you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't let me.
Because a lot of people might wanna stop in early before they go off to work or
Yeah.
something like
Get a
that.
coffee and,
Yeah.
and a roll or something.
Yeah.
Just get
We'll
that.
put that on the record on your application. So that will give you the.
Okay, so,
Meeting.
so 7 to 10.
Okay.
Thank you. And like I said before, is the, if the town, they need something like support, any activity with food and stuff like that, you got your kitchen there, okay? Just let me know, Marco, if it's something like that, it's very nice.
Very nice.
Right, any other questions for Marco?
You plan on moving to Roxbury?
Yes, that's one, is the, it's something in mind with my wife, you know, looking for something here, yeah.
Yeah, because I see you're from Waterbury.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's our questions and, there's no public comment, so we can, move the previous question, Lollipop.
So I'll make a motion to close the public hearing?
I second the motion to close the public hearing. Any questions? All in favor of closing public hearing?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Public hearing is closed. Thank you for coming and joining us. And
Thank you, John. Thank you.
All right, you too, Marco.
Thank you, sir. See you now. Anna.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tengo que ir a un restaurante a ir.
We're gonna discuss this later.
Yeah.
In a regular meeting. That'll be on record and you can find out. Technically, there is a 15-day appeal period for any of our public hearings. Not, it should be an appeal for your application, but if you want to really do something different, you would have to wait for 15 days.
Okay.
So that's the legality of it.
Thank you for maybe.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Will you stay?
Thank you.
Again.
Okay, thank you, gracias. Thank you.
Public hearings is adjourned.
Do we have to wait till 7:30 to start the next meeting?
Yeah.
Immediately following the.
Right,
Immediately.
yes.
All right,
Very witty bunch.
7:13 in Roxbury now. Roxbury Town Hall. Thursday, no, September. I've got September.
November 9th.
Thursday, November 9th, 2023. It's time to call order our regular meeting. And seat members. Our regular members tonight are Kim Tester, Elaine Curley, Candy Valeri, Jim Conway, and myself, Bill Horrigan.
Night, Elaine.
Was that?
We said Elaine. Elaine's not here. It's Kim.
No, I just said those are regular members. Now, I'm
Oh,
gonna say that, that Jim Conway and Elaine Curley are not here, and we'll see 2 alternate members. The alternate members tonight are Cheryl Rosen, Ellen Johnson, and Chris Haggerty. But we just had Alan and Cheryl seated for the public hearing.
You have to keep them in order to discuss the public hearing.
Yeah.
Okay,
So they have to stay. Yep.
Alan, you'll stay seated. Cheryl, you'll stay seated.
Thank you.
First, number 3 item on the agenda is approval of minutes of our regular meeting of October 12th.
I didn't see anything. I mean, I watched the video. I can't vote on it, but I watched
Yeah.
the meeting. I didn't see any issues.
Yeah, I reviewed the minutes and I didn't find any issues in the minutes. I don't know if anybody else did.
I wasn't here, so.
You weren't here.
Yeah, I didn't see those.
Nor did
I
I.
didn't see anything.
Ellen, you didn't either.
Oh, but you know about it.
So I'll take a motion to approve the minutes of last month's regular meeting.
Candy Valeri, I make a motion that minutes of the October meeting will be approved as written.
Do I have a second?
You,
Well, Oregon, I second that, approve the minutes, and we're approving the minutes of last month's regular meeting. Any questions?
And Cheryl and Kim are abstaining.
Abstaining, correct.
I know, you know,
All
I
right,
wasn't,
Cheryl's
I was away.
Okay, I'm putting you down as an abstain.
right.
all right,
All
so
those in
the
favor?
minutes of last month's regular meeting have been approved. Next item, report from John Cody, our zoning enforcement officer. I have one, John.
Good evening, everyone. Glad to see everyone's there. So as far as permits last month, I'm gonna do this a little bit different, more like I do for the wetlands commissions. I'll give you a brief breakdown of everything that's been taken out. So last month we had 5 generators, 1 garage, 1 enclosed porch, 2 sheds, 1 pool house, 3 pools, and there's 2 things that went through the wetlands commissions for accessory ADUs, and they will be coming across our desk any day now. So that's as far as applications. Other news is Ron Newgold from the distiller got in touch with me the other day, and he's going to start going forward with the craft cafe. He believes he's going to shoot for January 1st for an opening, so that is something to look forward to. As far as enforcement issues, the only thing there was the package store was advertising that they were going to have a fall festival on the 28th of last month. That consisted of 5 distillers or 5 breweries, food and music. I advised them that they did such a thing, they'd be violating their special permit. We had a discussion about that, and then on Saturday I drove by to see what was actually going on there. They did have a little bit of an opening. There were 3 brewers there. It was small. It really wasn't much, so I just sent them a letter stating if they ever wanted to go forward with this, that they would need to amend their special permit. Tom from the package store was fine with that, and pretty much put it to bed, and they're kind of on notice. So that sums up that.
I drove by too, because we were on our way to the land trust event. That was the same day. And it was very lightly attended,
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is good, because otherwise they'd be in violation. Well, they were in violation, but it wasn't, catastrophic by any means.
That was well handled. Thank you, John. Now, item number 5 is special permit application 160 Baker Road, Roxbury Kitchen, discussion of followed public hearing. So here we are to discuss Marco's application. Do we have any questions or? Seems pretty straightforward and correct.
Yeah, so when we go to vote, do we have to vote on the updated statement of use that because it wasn't published with those hours?
So we can vote on it to accept it. In addition, we have to note the 2 hours.
Sorry, say that again.
Julie, his statement of use is written there,
It's written. If you want to include that in the motion, you can.
so you can just read the amended statement of use, which will include, the time frame from 7 to,
So we can change, right, 7 to 10.
so the statement of use will, we're adding those timeframes.
Yes.
Okay. So, I'll have Julie read that before we vote. Is there any other question?
It's pretty straightforward. It's complete. I mean, he gave us everything we asked.
All right, so Julie, will you read exactly what our little amendment to that statement of use is?
Okay, so you just want to do the whole thing or just the hours?
Just the, add the hours to it.
Okay, under the times they'd be operating, Monday closed. Tuesday will now be 7 AM to 10 PM. Wednesday, 7 AM to 10 PM. Thursday, 7 AM to 10 PM. Friday, 7 AM to 10 PM. Saturday, 7 AM to 10 PM, and Sunday, 7 AM to 10 PM.
Thanks, Julie. All right. Now we'll take a motion to vote on acceptance of the application. Do I have a motion?
I make a
Trez.
motion to accept to approve the application with the hours of operation amended as read.
The statement
A statement of use.
of use. Okay. This is Candy Valeri. I second that motion.
All right, any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, the application for the restaurant on 162 Baker Road has been approved. Item number 6. Jim is here to bring us up to speed and clarify some things, and because Kim has been involved in this longer, I'm going to ask Kim to kind of lead us in our questioning, and after Jim's presentation, or during it.
Yeah, I think Jimmy can go first. Yeah.
You're in charge, Kim, for this.
Oh, all right. So Jimmy's going to give a presentation on a program that they're using, a lot of towns are using, called MuniCode, where people can find all of the information and regulations. So I'm going to leave it to him to explain that, and then we'll talk about our regulations.
Okay, so a little background, last budget season, I put in to the budget a request for some additional software for the town, including a new website, new agendas and minutes program, this program called Civic Rec, which will do a lot of rentals and point of sale stuff. And along with that is this company called MuniCode. All those are run by Civic Plus. They're kind of the Microsoft of municipal governments. They're nationwide. And we kind of got a deal by going with all 4 of them at the same time. And MuniCode is strictly just kind of a hosting site to start with our ordinances and our zoning regs. Right now, they're kind of just PDFs that are thrown up on the website, and it makes it a little hard to find what you need, or to search for it, or to take a section and send it to somebody that needs to, see it. And so I'll bring up MuniCode right now. So this is the town of Vernon, Connecticut. So it'll kind of look like this. This will be just on our website. And so you can go into the code of ordinances, or you can go into the zoning regs. So really MuniCode is just hosting of the regs. Not content that's just going to live here. So, somebody can go in, namely John or you guys or just a resident can go in, see the regs as they're written, straight from this screen. You can share a link with somebody. You can download it. You can print it straight from the scene. You can download it into Word to then edit it. And that's how we'll do reg changes going forward. You'll download it into Word, turn on what's called the red line version, so it tracks all your changes. that will get posted at your public hearing, that, hey, here's what the zoning commission is looking to adjust. And it's just one click, and like you click, let's make it move over. If you click into Word, you can kind of select the sections you want, and you just click download and it goes right into Word. And then the last option is email. So if John or any of you or anybody is talking to somebody, and mainly John, I would say, and I don't know what Vernon's regs are, but say this was something that he needed to share with somebody. With one click, he can say, I need to send them section 13, section 14, and 15-2. He clicks next, straight from this screen, he can put in their email, and boom, it's there. Searching is nice because you can search the ordinances and the regs at the same time. So you can kind of cross search. There's also like advanced search where you can, I just want to look at the zoning regs. And then the other nice thing is the history. So they don't have any other town. Let's go back to.
Question, so if we want to search like fence on there.
Yep, let me go to Seymour. There's another tab. So again, they have a charter, so it's a little different, but they're I'll get to that, but
Okay,
each time we make a change, it automatically will create the history. Because John has to go into the history a lot to look at the time of the application or the time of the issue. So that history is all tracked.
So basically you downloaded the section you want into Word, you make your changes, then you upload it back in, but it keeps the history of what we
The
changed.
way it will work is, you would have your public hearing. Assuming that goes well, you have your vote, you approve it. I don't know if there's a timeline for it needs to get approved or not, but once you're happy with it, all the timelines have been met, we email this to MuniCode and it will show up within 3 days on the reg that, hey, this reg has changed, click this PDF and they'll see the kind of red line version.
Oh.
And then every 6 months, it'll get codified into the reg. And it'll live in the online version. And then it'll create a historical.
So you can go back and see that
Yep.
15.1.2 at one point read
Was
this way,
this.
and now it's currently reading this way.
Correct. They track all the changes, and like if I go into an older version, it'll come up right away that I am using supplemental 5, you're browsing an older version of this code.
Right.
But it'll come up with a it tracks the history a lot better than how we're doing it now.
And this goes back and collects all the old history.
We may start going in and uploading the old history, but we're just gonna kind of start fresh.
Right now, we start from day one with us.
So what's kind of happening, and we'll get into that's the second part of the discussion. So there hasn't been an updated version of the zoning regs since November of 2021. So that is the version I sent them to reformat and get it ready for uploading. Once they upload that, John and I and Julie will go in and get all the changes that you guys have done since then. So we'll create essentially 3 or 4 versions, or it'll track that history.
Great.
Then we'll get back up to just, this is the current version, and somebody can go back and look at the old ones, and there might be a way to upload it. It might not be as kind of interactive as this is. It would be more just like a PDF of all the old versions.
We have to research and dig into it ourselves, but we would have a guide, we'd have a list.
Yeah.
A laundry list, okay.
Another nice thing we'll have the code of ordinances, we'll have the zoning regs to start under documents. The plan is to add the subdivision regulations, the wetlands regs, and the plan of conservation and development. To start, they'll just be PDFs. But kind of all of our town rules and laws and everything will live on one site, one page, linked off the website, but run through MuniCode. So any changes we make, we just kind of send it to them, and this is what they do.
When will that cross-reference search format begin? When I can You know,
So,
Candy is,
going back to candy, so I just typed in fence.
Mhm.
Again, this is Vernon, so I don't know what it kind of looks like, but I'm looking in both the zoning and the code of ordinances.
Oh,
I can, you know, I can turn off, so I only want to look in the zoning, but you know, any place fence shows up, and you can go right from that screen, you can go into it and it'll still be highlighted.
Right.
And then you say, oh yeah, this is the one I wanted. Print this, download it to Word or email it off to somebody. It's just a lot more user friendly and it's kind of the way we should be.
so
So we're
everything's,
currently have a contract with these.
We already signed up with them. This is,
Okay,
we're hoping to unroll kind of everything with Civic, which is that website, the boards and agendas program. That'll be probably early February, March. We don't want to kind of unroll this and then 3 months later have people change. So we're staggering the starts of all this kind of stuff. So this is Munico. This is happening. This is what we're doing.
What's the cost of this?
I don't know the cost. It wasn't absurd. A couple $1,000, I think, to set up, and then maybe $1,000 or $2,000 each year for the upkeep.
so you just review, you said we got sort of a bit of a bargain because we did 4 pieces.
It was, we got not a giant.
Right, but what are the 4 pieces?
So it's a completely redone website.
Oh, gotcha. And so that included the website
Yeah,
revision, okay,
complete website revision, this new agendas and minutes program.
okay,
Which will also
that is part of it
be
too.
kind of nice for you guys as board members. You'll have the ability to kind of log in and you can see applications, you know, assuming what land use does, if they upload something, you know, 3 weeks before the meeting, you guys could log in, they can post it as, you know, board member only purview. And you can go in and you can make notes and you can, only for you, like you can't share them, it's just for you guys. But so there's agendas and minutes program, which will meet Julie and Karen and all the other commissions.
We have our own passwords to get
Yep,
in,
you'll have your own login.
so that's how it stays confidential.
Yep.
That's great.
And then the third one is Civic Rec, which is kind of just a point of sale rental tracking of events and stuff like that.
Oh,
So there's,
So the
Special
park and the
event.
pavilion.
and one of the reasons we went with Civic All In is, as you guys as board members will have your login, but it'll go across over to the rec program. So if you want to sign up for the tractor parade, something, it's the same login. You don't need to create another user, another password again. And I kind of foresee expansion into more civic stuff. They do everything you can imagine, and they are buying companies kind of often.
So do they offer other services other than this?
Oh, yeah.
This is the 4, okay.
This was the 4 we kind of started.
Right.
We already were with Civic. Our website now is run through Civic. So, and their support has been great and I'm
Great.
really happy with them. So
Okay,
it was
great.
kind of just a logical expansion. So this is Municode. This is what's happening probably February, March. Like I said, the November 2021 version will be live. And then we will go in and send them. There's only been a couple, but 2 or 3 reg changes you guys have made since that time. The next thing is and maybe I'll put this down. I don't know if Kim wants to hop in, but as I understand it, you've met with Planometrics and Hiram Peck. I think. This was kind of a request from me mainly. This would be a comprehensive review of the zoning regs by a professional. It's been a number of years since this has happened. We just did this with the ordinances. It started with Barbara and then we finished it with Patrick. We went with a company called General Code, completely went through our regs, kind of moved some ordinances, moved some things around, made us compliant with state. So this is what I think the zoning commission, I would hope the zoning commission would do, kind of make sure we're compliant with state statutes. You know, those are constantly changing. Feed costs or just timeframes, just make sure we're compliant with that. And consistency throughout the regs and identifying any inconsistencies. I think John might be able to talk a little bit more on some things that might, in one section, it might say this, but in another section, it's not worded exactly the same. And that can create some, gray area, which I don't think we really love. Modernize the arrangement, so they would kind of make it flow a little better. So you're not hopping around as much. Maybe they take one section and consolidate it with another. So they're formatting it, but it's really, this is the content, the planometrics who used to work for the town years ago and does a lot of other municipalities in the area. This is what they do. They know how to do regs. And so again, it's just a complete comprehensive code content review. We haven't really had up-to-date versions of the regs, 15 plus years, where that's like, actually, here it is, here is the code, and it's up to the minute. John and I did a project back in 2019, 2020, 2021, but that didn't really solve the issue because I don't write regulations, and it's up to you guys to make the content. There be the opportunity to review your processes, like the special permits. That's something that I think is a little unique to Roxbury. And having a professional can give you the options, I think, a little better than, Julie or Karen or John or I researching, this is what this guy does. And then you guys can review, popular issues and regs, specifically the special permits, event permits, food trucks. Zone A has been talked about a bunch. Zone B kind of just lives on its own at the southern end of town. Signs, I know, has come up a lot. Lighting, fencing, all that kind of stuff. Again, just be able to kind of use a professional to get it where you guys want it.
Thank you, Jimmy. That was great. I wanted to just review the kind of recap the process that's happened so far. Patrick interviewed 5 different companies, and Bill met with Patrick, to review that candidate information, the company info, and 2 were chosen. So as you know, Glenn and Hiram. And then, once the commission votes on who the person is that they want to work with, or the company, the first selectman's office is going to coordinate the acceptance of the proposal. So that's not something that the zoning board needs to do or worry about. We do have that dollar amount that was approved in the budget, and there will be no more than that spent until it goes into another budget. And then if it's approved, then we go farther. But I think at this point, it's sort of deciding on the person you want to work with. And I did, as I said, I wasn't here for the last meeting, but I did review the recording. And, it was so interesting because they're both so different. Hiram was a real big picture person, just really looking at all the different avenues. And Glenn was very focused on this idea of the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and breaking it down into pieces. I think that, that can be manageable. And as Jimmy said, the first 2 things that have to happen really are updating state statutes to make sure that the regulations are legal, and reorganizing the regulations and adding in quick links and other formatting so that it makes sense and that people can find things. And, I did send, while Glenn was there, he did pass around the paper copy of what he was doing in Southington. And then I happened to go online, and that's where I found the one that has now gone live on November 4th, and which I sent to everybody so that you could kind of look and see, ours doesn't have to look like that, but it's kind of the basic concept of what it could be. Jimmy, I had a question for you about the Muni Code and the history component. I just want to be clear on that. I think there's a bunch of history that you probably can't upload, but so will it be a list? There'll be still a list that people can review for dates of change.
All the history is more seeing the actual version of the code. Each reg will have its history like it is now with, if you've changed the sign reg 10 times, it'll list, you did it in November of 02, July of 07, it'll track all that. And then we can go back to the minutes of each of your meetings and see what happened. Yeah, the history is all still there. And, the long-term history is all there.
Yeah.
And then as we go forward, it'll update that, hey, you changed it in, July of 2024, and then you'll have the version on your left-hand side showing the actual thing right at your fingertips. You don't have to go back to minutes. You can see exactly what it used to be. So,
thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
I just have one I want to clarify. So when this is operational, I pull up fences or let's say favorite subject of mine is ADUs. So ADUs, the word ADU, then on the screen comes everything that has a yellow outline, right?
Yep.
Everything.
Yep.
And I have to, it could be a few pages long, but I know that I have to read those few pages because every time ADU is mentioned, it's there for me to see.
It'll show it all highlighted, so you can read it all, you can also skip it.
Sunday night at 9 o'clock at night, I've got everything I need to feel
At your fingertips. And with as much as you guys want to, you'll have the ability with the civic clerk program to then look at somebody's application, and make notes on it. So if you come to your meeting, the plan, I think, long-term is to start allowing some laptops and iPads or stuff for you guys so you kind of research everything and you can make your notes and come to the meeting just more prepared,
As an aside, you're working on that too, right?
So this is all the stuff to kind of get a reason to give you the iPad. Instead of just being like, here's an iPad, go to the town website.
It's like a functional reason.
Yeah, now there's stuff that like the land use department can drop the application in 3 weeks ahead and, like I said, click it and say board member only. And as a new map comes up, Julie can drop it right in and then you guys can see it. You don't need to come in, you don't need to wait till the night or to 24 hours before, see the agenda. So that's what we're kind of working with too, with the software. Instead of just handing you a laptop and saying, run with it. Now here's a laptop, here's a login, here's how you can do stuff.
I have two quick questions, which is probably just showing my naivete. Number one, Kim, how do I actually view the recording of that meeting that I missed? Because, I didn't see Hiram in his presentation, and that would be very helpful for me.
Yeah, so that's on the website, on the Roxbury Town Hall website, and you look up zoning commission, and then you can see recording of minutes.
Oh, you could do. Okay, thank you. Okay, that
You
was
can do that for any board or commission, that has recorded things, or at least some of the boards or commissions just do written minutes, so you can see copies of all of that. It's all published and has specifically published in a certain time frame that has to go up legally.
But when you said it, I thought I'd shortcut and just ask you directly.
Oh.
And then I'm just a little confused as to the timing, because we're talking about, going either with Glenn or Hiram to update our zoning regs, et cetera, get them in line with state statutes, et cetera. But at the same time, we're taking our current zoning regs and using them, right? So would it make sense to, because MuniCode is now using our current regs.
Yeah.
Those are obviously the format, content, et cetera, is going to change at some point in the not so distant future.
I think it's kind of like Bill kind of said, they are the regs now. So it's
Correct.
kind of have the history.
I agree, right, okay. And then we'll just, even if it's like a different format and whatever, I'm just concerned that, when we talk about reorganizing or changing or consolidating or making the flow different, how that would affect with what's being currently done in Unicode.
My
Today.
complete guess
Okay,
is the project, if you go with Planometrics, that's gonna be a year-long project.
yeah,
So this allows us to have the benefits, and it'll kind of, you're not gonna make small changes with Glenn every couple meetings. It's gonna be kind of go through it all, and then at the end say, yep, this is what we're
Okay.
doing. And then a year from now, or whatever, I email it
Just
up to
email it
Unicode, there might be a small fee to reconfigure, because it's
Okay.
a one-time kind of reconfigure
Okay.
it for the
yeah, that
online.
makes
Could
sense.
I just jump in for 1 second there?
Yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt, but as far as changes, they won't be doing any changes. Any change would have to be a public hearing, public hearing and all that stuff going on. This is just to clarify and clean up the regulations. There's no changes.
Right.
Be changing stuff
I didn't even,
statute, but you're gonna have at the end, one giant public hearing.
Yeah.
With one giant, red
Yeah.
line version.
Yeah.
Like he'll give you the document, public can review. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get into the real.
No, and that it's important to note that
yeah,
it's important to note that, that dollar amount is very specific for just that. And if you remember, and Cheryl, you'll see it, Hiram was actually throwing around a number of 75,000, for some towns that spend that kind of money. We won't be doing that. We have 20,000 that was approved in the budget, and to do this formatting. And John is absolutely correct, because we have to make sure our language is proper here, because people will be concerned that we're going to all of a sudden change the meaning, and that's not what's going to happen. So,
Yeah, I would say it's more of a content than a formatting adjustment. Unicode's more the formatting,
correct.
posting of
Okay.
this.
Right.
But this is just, again, this is exactly what we did with the ordinances. I don't know if anybody came to the town meeting when we approved the ordinances. We didn't change anything. We just kind of made sure that, hey, the state now allows you 180 days versus 60 to do this.
Right.
We bumped that up. We didn't change any fees. We didn't change any of that. We just kind of got back to a level where now the zoning commission can go in and make your changes that you truly want. But I think there will be some stuff that Glenn kind of points out, hey, this needs to be rewritten.
Yeah.
Let's just do this, now instead of,
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
Great.
so
Road, yeah.
No, definitely. I just didn't know how it impacted, or if we just have to sort of start over with Unicode, or in terms of fees or whatever, but that's great.
it'll just be me getting the file
File
from you
over.
after the
Perfect.
public hearing, after your vote. Uploading it to them, it might be, another month for them to just
Right, no,
move everything around, but.
Oh, great.
And just to answer Alan's question, it's $3,400 a year for me. And there's no setup fee or anything. It's just, and that's for software, that's pretty cheap. Everybody else is around $1,000 a month. So,
Oh, wow.
so that was to answer Alan's question.
So Bill, I'll pass it back to you, to find out what people think about voting.
I'm sitting, thank you, Kim. I'm sitting here saying, let's get this going. Can we get it going right now? Like I say, a year's a long time to wait. I'm not really excited about this stuff, but this does make me excited. It's gonna make it easy for me, even though it's a year down the road. If we wait any longer, it's gonna be another month down the road, another month down the road. So, how do we discuss getting it going? You just vote on it and say, kick it off? I mean, that.
Well, I think what we can do, I can make a motion of course, I have an opinion, right? Surprise, surprise, of who I think would be the best candidate for what we need. And then somebody could second it, and then we can discuss it.
Yeah.
Does that sound good?
Discuss it first and then make the motion based on the discussion.
Yeah.
We can discuss after the second.
Yeah, after the second.
Okay.
Yeah, so I make a motion that we choose Glenn Chalder from Planometrics to work on our zoning regulations, and as he stated during his presentation, to begin with tier 1, which he, during that meeting, he was there, he stated that he could do that within the budget. That's my motion.
I second the motion. I can't quote what you just said, Kim, but I second the motion.
You don't have to,
Glenn. So
so that people can talk.
made and seconded, so now we can discuss it.
All right, well, one of the things that my notes here say, and probably reporting, Glenn did say that the public will have multiple opportunities to comment as we go along, making, if you want to go through whatever changes, it can be great. And that's what we want. We have to include them so they can see what's going on. And I have to say, I do agree with hiring Glenn.
Yeah, they're just two very different approaches. And
Right.
Yeah.
I liked his approach, and he answered questions, you know.
Yeah, Glenn. Yes.
He understood the questions.
It's a good story. Yeah,
Well, as I said, I did not have a chance to view Hiram's presentation, and I apologize for that, but based on what Kim's commentary was, just in terms of sort of the macro versus the micro and the attention to detail, and especially in consideration of our very specific budget, and I agree, you know, that's our budget and that's what we keep within. It sounds to me that Glenn is probably a better fit for our needs.
Well, if this software satisfies the search function and the organization and history function, then his job can be dedicated just to error checking and continuity and state compliance.
Updating and, yeah.
I think it's going to be to our benefit, though, to have the quick links and things that, you know, when you go through, because when you're in a particular regulation, it refers to section, blah, 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 you can actually click on section and then you go right there. So in those kinds of instances, that will be super helpful. And then it's nice to be able to have two different ways to search. I mean,
That's right.
That's going to be wonderful.
It'd be great for as it's kind of the working document for him to just, I would let him run with it.
Okay, great.
And then just think of Unicode as the end result. That's where it just gets posted.
Great.
Cheryl said it very well. You know, the macro versus micro. It appears that when Glenn gets through with the tier, we're going to have a completed tier. It's not going to be a tier with dangling fragments of, we're going to have a completed, whatever he does, he's going to give us a completed chapter or tier.
Right.
I like it.
Good.
Alan? Yeah. I think we're kind of all in agreement.
so.
You're going to ask for a vote?
We've had a motion and a second, we've discussed. So we're going to vote right now. All in favor of retaining Glenn Chalder?
Aye.
Opposed? Oh, I guess Glenn needs to be notified.
Okay, I'll let him know.
Good.
So we can do this without Elaine being here or Jim or, yeah, right?
Yeah, we just need a quorum. That's all.
Oh, okay.
All right. Commissioners training update, that's just ongoing things. We have to do our 4 hours every 2 years.
Should I say-
4 or 5.
So I have one more piece I need to do.
Please let me know. Please let
So
me
I'll,
know when you put your piece.
I'm gonna actually do it this weekend.
Yes.
Right?
It's actually 4 hours, but the way the classes are set up, you could be getting close to 5 to 5.5 hours according to the requirements. So Kim's like, yes.
Yes, I said that to Patrick already. I said, oh my gosh, I've already, those 3 were not an hour. They were, it took forever on some of them. So
It's November. Don't do today what you can put off till tomorrow.
Right here.
I'm starting to get.
I'm going to do it.
Yep, so just let me know.
And I just figured, obviously, nothing great. Thank you.
All right, chairman's report. I don't have your chairman's report. Communications, there are no communications that I know of. That leads us to agenda item number 10. Molly,
We adjourned the meeting.
Andy, you're so happy. I second the motion to adjourn the meeting.
all in favor?
Aye.
All
Pulling Kim will here.
Aye. Candy, you have to vote. Adjourn.
Yes.
What? I voted, yes.
Yes.
All opposed? Okay, the motion passes to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Okay.